Georgie stepped out of the taxi. The Melbourne air felt different. It was the day after Christmas, December 26, 2025. The city was alive with a special energy. Georgie was a travel writer. She was here for a new story. Her job was to find the hidden gems of Melbourne. She loved her work. It was her whole life. But sometimes she felt like she was always watching, never living. Her editor had arranged a local guide for her. His name was Zach. She checked her phone for his message, her mind already outlining the article she would write. She was ready to work, ready to discover the city through her writer's lens. She found him waiting near a colourful laneway. He was tall, with a kind smile that reached his eyes. "Georgie," he asked. His voice was warm and friendly. "I'm Zach. Welcome to Melbourne." He wasn't what she expected. He had a relaxed and easygoing manner. Zach explained he used to play Australian football. An injury had ended his career early. Now he loved showing people his city. He pointed towards the narrow street filled with graffiti. "This is Hosier Lane," he said. "Our tour starts here. Forget your map for a bit. Let's just walk." Georgie felt a small flutter of uncertainty, but she nodded and followed him. The laneway was an explosion of colour. Art covered every wall, from the ground to the rooftops. It was a living gallery, constantly changing. Georgie immediately took out her notebook. She started writing down descriptions. She noted the smell of spray paint. She described the tourists taking photos. Zach watched her, amused. "You're all business, aren't you?" he commented with a gentle laugh. "Try to just see it first, feel it. The words will come later." He encouraged her to put the notebook away. For a moment, she hesitated. Her job was her comfort zone, her identity. But his suggestion felt like a friendly invitation, not a command. So, she did. She slipped her notebook back into her bag. She looked at the art with fresh eyes. She saw the details she had missed while busy writing. There was a portrait of a woman that seemed to stare right at her. There was a tiny cartoon mouse hidden in a corner. Zach pointed out his favourite piece, a swirling abstract design in blue and gold. He told her stories about some of the artists. He talked about the spirit of Melbourne, a city that celebrates creativity and uniqueness. For the first time that day, Georgie wasn't thinking about her article. She was simply there, present in the moment. The next day, Zach took Georgie to the Queen Victoria Market. It was a huge, bustling place. The sounds and smells were overwhelming in the best way. There were vendors shouting. There were people laughing. The air was filled with the scent of fresh bread, strong coffee, and exotic spices. Georgie's instinct was to start interviewing people. She wanted to get quotes for her story. But Zach had a different plan. He handed her a reusable bag. "Today we shop for a picnic," he announced. "No work talk allowed. We're just two people enjoying the market." He was challenging her to step outside her professional role. They wandered through the crowded aisles. Zach seemed to know everyone. He introduced Georgie to a baker who gave them a warm loaf of sourdough. He chatted with a cheese seller who let them sample different kinds of cheddar. Georgie found herself relaxing. She was laughing at Zach's jokes. She was trying new foods she had never heard of before. She bought a jar of local honey and some bright red cherries. She wasn't Georgie the travel writer anymore. She was just Georgie, a woman exploring a wonderful market with a charming guide. The experience felt personal and real, not like a work assignment. Zach led her to the Royal Botanic Gardens. They found a quiet spot under a large, shady tree. They spread out their food on a blanket. The city skyline was visible in the distance. It was peaceful here. The noise of the market was gone. All they could hear was the gentle rustle of leaves and the distant calls of birds. Georgie realised she hadn't felt this calm in a very long time. Usually her travels were a blur of deadlines and fact-checking. This was different. This was slow. This was intentional. She was learning to appreciate a different pace of life. They sat and talked for hours. Zach told her about his football days. He spoke of the disappointment of his injury, but also the joy he found in his new life. Georgie talked about her love for writing. She also admitted that it sometimes felt lonely. She was always moving, always on the outside looking in. Maybe you just need to put the pen down and step into the picture sometimes, Zach suggested softly. His words stayed with her. She looked at him, really looked at him, and felt a connection that went beyond a simple tour. She was seeing him, and he was seeing her. Zach wanted to show Georgie the real Melbourne. He took her away from the big tourist spots. They went to a neighbourhood called Fitzroy. The streets were lined with quirky shops and cool cafes. It felt artistic and a little bit rebellious. Georgie loved it. Zach took her to a small, hidden coffee shop. The barista knew him by name. He ordered 2 flat whites, a Melbourne specialty. "The best coffee in the world," Zach declared with a proud grin. "You can't write about Melbourne without writing about our coffee culture." They sat by the window watching the world go by. Later, they went to a footy game. Georgie had never seen Australian football before. The energy in the stadium was incredible. Thousands of fans were cheering for their teams. Zach patiently explained the rules to her. He was so passionate about the game. His eyes lit up as he described the plays. Georgie found herself getting caught up in the excitement. She cheered when Zach's team scored. She groaned when the other team got the ball. She was sharing in a local tradition. It was something she could never have experienced just by reading a guidebook. She was living it. They ended the day in St Kilda. They walked along the pier as the sun began to set. The sky turned into a beautiful painting of orange, pink and purple. They watched the little penguins coming ashore. The tiny birds waddled up the rocks to their nests. It was a magical sight. Georgie didn't even think about taking a picture. She wanted to burn the memory into her mind. She stood beside Zach, their shoulders almost touching. A comfortable silence settled between them. In that moment, she felt a profound sense of happiness. It was a simple, pure joy. "You seem different," Zach said, his voice soft. "When you first arrived, you were so serious, always thinking about the story." Georgie looked out at the water. "You've shown me that the story is better when you're actually a part of it," she replied. She realized he had given her a gift. He had shown her how to be present. He had helped her find the balance between her work and her life. This trip was no longer just about an article. It was about her own journey of discovery. She was changing, and it felt wonderful. On Georgie's last day, the thought of leaving felt heavy. Melbourne was no longer just a destination on a map. It had become a place of warmth, laughter, and connection. Zach had shown her more than just the city's sights. He had shown her its heart. He had shown her a way of life that valued moments over minutes, and people over plans. She sat in a cafe, her notebook open. But this time, she wasn't writing her article. She was writing about her own feelings. She was writing about the joy of a shared coffee, the thrill of a game, and the peace of a sunset. Zach met her for a final walk along the Yarra River. They didn't need to say much. They had built a connection that was easy and understood. Georgie knew her perspective had completely shifted. Before, her life was a series of destinations, a checklist of experiences to write about. Now, she saw that the real adventure wasn't just in the seeing, but in the sharing. It was in the unexpected conversations with strangers. It was in letting go of the itinerary and embracing the spontaneous detours. It was in allowing someone to show you their world. "So what will you write about Melbourne?" Zach asked as they stopped to look at the river. Georgie smiled. "I'll write about the amazing art and the delicious coffee," she began. "I'll write about the passionate footy fans and the cute little penguins." She paused, then looked at him. "But mostly, I'll write about how a city isn't just made of buildings and streets. It's made of people. It's about finding a connection that makes a place feel like home, even if it's just for a little while." Her article would be her best one yet, because it would be filled with genuine feeling. As he walked her to her taxi, Georgie felt a sense of hope, not sadness. This wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. "This doesn't have to be goodbye," Zach said, as if reading her mind. "Melbourne will still be here, and so will I." Georgie knew she would be back, not for work, but for herself. She had come to Melbourne to write a story about a place, but she was leaving with a new story for her own life. A story of love, adventure, and the wonderful realization that the best journeys are the ones that change you from the inside out.